From absolutely absurd characters being responsible for quite literally pulling the trigger on a captivating storyline, to showrunners simply going back to the well too damn often, these shocking villainous reveals left a lot to be desired. I'm Gareth from WhatCulture.com, and here are 8 surprise TV show villain reveals everyone hated. Number 8. Final 5 Battlestar Galactica. One of the major issues that comes with building towards a significant twist reveal within a TV show is the fact that its eventual execution has been known to make, or unfortunately break, a series altogether. Get it right and audiences will find themselves unable to take their eyes away from your show. See Eddard Stark's Season 1 Game of Thrones fate. Get it wrong and you'll have a Battlestar Galactica mess on your hands. After spending 3 seasons building up to the moment when we'd finally learn precisely who the mysterious and ancient Final 5 Cylons were, those dedicated to the show were left wondering why they'd bothered caring at all, with the reveal that not only were the Final 5 among us all along, in the form of Saul and Ellen Ty, Galen Tyrell, Samuel Anders, and Tori Foster, but that they had literally no clue of their origins. It became abundantly clear that the showrunners were simply making it up as they went along. Though it must be said that the show's conclusion in general was largely impacted by the 2007-2008 writer's strike, but there's still no escaping the feeling that this was merely an attempt to get their fans' jaws to bounce off the floor, and eventually pave the way for more frustrating questions than answers. What a damn waste. Number 7. The Master, Doctor Who. From Tom Baker to David Tennant, every variation of the chaotically charismatic Doctor has brought something compelling and oddly mesmerizing to the table, and the same could be said of the Doctor's arch nemesis too. Early on, the Master was seen as an intriguing and often welcome addition to the franchise, wittily battling the leading star at every turn. However, as time has gone by, the show has found itself relying a little too heavily on the reveal of it was the Master all along, with John Sim, Michelle Gomez, and Sacha Dhawan all finding their version of the Doc's big bad being revealed as the one pulling the strings all along one too many times. In truth, there was a time when the Master being revealed as the actual force in the shadows, forcing the Doctor to jump through hoops and constantly throwing them into perilous situations, was a riot. But the character has simply become another victim of heading back to the tried and tested villain as well too often. Number 6. The Company, Prison Break. In another example of a show not knowing where they were heading after the initial appeal wore out, or when to stop in this case, we have that time Prison Break decided to dial things up a few notches after the initial success of its earlier seasons. Now, escaping a few prisons along the way was to be expected in a series that literally sells that one on the tin. However, the sudden involvement of the Illuminati-style company across Season 4 left fans rolling their eyes into the backs of their skulls. Take your pick between double agents to Schofield's mother turning out to be a higher-ranking company member. Just about every shocking reveal pertaining to the string pullers up high was met with more head scratches than joyous gasps. Had the show opted to leave Michael well enough alone after springing Brother Lincoln out of jail, and not deciding to have him recruited by an evil group to do their bidding, fans could have been saved this gradually more disheartening return of balminess. Hey ho, at least it's finally over, for now. Number 5. Dr. Alchemy, The Flash. Throughout Season 3 of the CW's The Flash series, Barry Allen and his gang find themselves coming up against a truly formidable foe in the form of Dr. Alchemy, a being who has Savitor's godly speedster powers bestowed upon them. It's a whole thing. With many a twist and turn along the way, it's ultimately revealed that none other than Tom Felton's Julian Albert was Dr. Alchemy all along, having his mind thoroughly controlled by Savitar as the intimidating antagonist terrorized the Flash and utterly dominated our hero for a time. This would have been all well and good in isolation, but in the end it wasn't that much of a shocker to see that the dude known best for playing utter pieces of crap, see Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Harry Potter, was the big bad all along, even if he was technically doing these dastardly deeds against his own will. In short, this surprise felt largely underwhelming and telegraphed, leaving most fans assuming it was too obvious to be true. They were sadly mistaken. Number 4. Colleen Wing, Iron Fist. Keeping in the superhero world, here we have the pretty much dead-on-arrival attempt to bring Iron Fist into the Netflix Marvel TV universe. In all honesty, there's a lot to pick out when discussing the more frustrating and baffling elements that comprise Daniel Rand's adventures as the titular hero. But perhaps the most aggravating development on show was the handling of Colleen Wing throughout the series. Introduced early on as an all-round badass who runs her own dojo and can equally hand you your ass should she so wish, it initially seemed as though Colleen was every bit a faithful ally of Finn Jones' leading character. It then turns out that she was actually a secret member of the Villainous Hand organization. But it's cool because she's willing to give up that life and her many students simply to be with good ol' Iron Fist. Sure, Colleen may have been under the impression that the organization were focused on reforming people and shaping the world for the better, but that still did nothing to take the edge off of a jarring heel turn reveal that was quickly shrugged off in favor of getting back to Daniel's drama. Number 3, Ollie, Game of Thrones. It says an awful lot about a character if some still rank them above the likes of Joffrey Baratheon and Ramsay Bolton as the most annoying and dickish being to ever walk across the turf of Westeros. But one-time sweetheart Ollie certainly gives them a run for the money. Early on, it felt as though the youngster was destined to be a trusted right-hand man of sorts for the remainder of his time on Game of Thrones, being recruited as Jon Snow's steward after his village was raided by wildlings. However, as the lines begin to blur during the Battle of Castle Black and the immediate aftermath of that skirmish, Ollie's determination to avenge his parents' death led to a rather unwanted turn. If picking off Snow's love Ygritte wasn't enough, Ollie also went on to deal the fatal blow that cuts down the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, after Jon attempts to form an alliance with their one-time enemy to stave off the coming White Walker threat. Admittedly, the stabbing stunned audiences worldwide, but with Jon's logic more than making sense and the youngsters seeming to understand his reasoning for a time, Ollie's staggering turn felt like little more than a sucker punch that next to nobody could fully justify. Number 2, Maggie The Simpsons. It may have gone down in history as one of the most memorable events ever to grace the town of Springfield, but the record will always show that the reveal of precisely who shot Mr. Burns was one of the most anticlimactic ever witnessed. Building up over the course of 2 gripping episodes, the drama surrounding exactly which Simpsons regular had done the dastardly deed in the closing stages of Season 6 had audiences begging for Season 7 to rear its head already. Then, in a completely unexpected twist, it was confirmed that none other than Maggie Simpson was the one responsible for the fateful gunshot. Unexpected because not a single soul wanted or could justify Maggie being behind the act. In particular, the execution of the shot was insanely contrived, even for a show as ludicrous as The Simpsons, with Burns being accidentally gunned down after literally attempting to take candy from a baby. All in all, the reveal was as cute as The Simpsons' youngest for about a minute, before making us wish we'd had the previous 2 episodes worth of time back to spend elsewhere. Number 1, Ian Buckles, Line of Duty. Well, this one certainly kicked up a bit of a fuss, didn't it? After spending the last 10 years wondering who in the hell was the person by the name of H behind all of the various plots we'd seen unfold over the course of 6 edge-of-your-seat seasons of Line of Duty goodness, it was revealed that none other than DS Ian Buckles was the man pulling the strings the whole damn time. Understandably, this twist had just about every avid duty devotee losing their damn minds, wondering what in God's name the showrunners were thinking in ending the whole series with the bombshell that a complete fool was actually playing us and the rest of the cast all along. Fans were so pissed about the lackluster reveal that some even went to the extent of thinking up balmy theories as to how this was actually another red herring designed to keep us engaged should another season be brought about. Whether you choose to believe Buckles is in fact the elusive 4th corrupt police officer or not, there's no questioning that Line of Duty royally crapped the bed with this surprise.